Right, so it's called Becoming a Professional Network Marketer because I thought it would be a really appropriate training to do and to actually speak, more on this topic because, in my opinion, so many people are not getting the results they want to get in this business because they think that they have a hobby instead of a business. And if you treat this business as a hobby, by all means, you will get paid a hobby income. And this is the way that a lot of people treat this business, and then they don't get the results they want, and then they're upset about it. So this training, as I mentioned earlier on, it will be a series of these trainings that I'll be doing about becoming a professional marketer because it would be just a too big topic to cover in one go. And lots of different aspects I will be talking about that are related to network marketing, that are related to our business, and hopefully you will find these things useful in order to develop and progress yourself in this business, as well as pass down to your team members and teach your team members about how this business is done and how they can become also professional network marketers. Okay, so we'll begin with the first slide. Okay, so the first slide says keys to success in network marketing. Now, what are the keys for success in this business? Now, there are two keys that I'd like to mention, which is focus or commitment and consistency. If you have these two things in business, you will succeed. Because one thing you need to do is focus. Whatever you do in life, not necessarily in business, whatever you do, if you want to be successful at that thing, you need to focus, which means you commit yourself. So with this network marketing business, I always say to my team members, for at least a year, you should be focusing and not even looking sideways. Just carry on with this business, do what the system tells you to do, and do that consistently. So consistency is the second and very important thing. Instead of having, a 10 people's meeting tonight and then not doing anything for the next 3 months, instead you should be consistent. So doing the same thing over and over and over again will bring about the results that you want. So being consistent with people and being consistent with meeting conditions of the conversation plan. We all know what we are required to do in this business. We all know that we are supposed to share the product, we're supposed to sell the product, we're supposed to use the product, we're supposed to recommend the product to others, exactly the same way we're supposed to recommend the business to others and share the idea of network marketing, and this way build our organizations. Now, if we know that, why are we not doing it? Why are we not consistent with it? So yes, I know that life happens, kids problems, work problems, divorce, failures, debts, and all the other things that happen along the way. And yes, it will happen to you too. Nobody is exempt from these things, and it will happen. However, if you had a traditional business, if you had your own restaurant, or you had your own, grocery store, if something happened, your kid got ill, or, something else happened, will you just quit? Would you just say, that's it, I'm not going to do this restaurant business anymore because I have these problems in my life? Probably not. Because it costs you so much to invest, you will carry on doing the business. Yes, you will have to take some time off, whatever, but you will carry on with the business. So why would you quit network marketing because of any of these reasons? You shouldn't. Life happens, but we just need to carry on. So will you go through it or get bumped off the cart? One of the things that people always thinking deep in their mind, they say, well, look, if this network marketing thing doesn't work out, I can always go back to work. Now, is that really an option? Is that really an option, going back to work? Where does that lead? That leads you in next 40 years working 40 hours a week and retiring on the third of something that wasn't enough in the first place. It doesn't lead anywhere. So going back to work is not really an option. You haven't got another option really, a part of building a business, and becoming independent, leaving that rat race. So let's try and focus and be consistent with what we do, and then I'm sure we will see big results. Also, look out for people who are already in network marketing. It's so important to understand, that very often people want to convince others to join the business. They want to bully them into joining the business. What we need to understand is this quick example. One of the interviews I recently watched was by a guy who, within the last 20 years, he made about $40 million from network marketing business that he's in. And he said, look, the way I see my prospects is like a clock. So if the prospect is ready to join my business, he's at 12 o'clock. However, some people that you meet will be at 11 o'clock, which is still too early for them to join the business. Some people will be at 9 o'clock or whatever it is. It's not their time. And instead of just leaving that person and trying to convince them into joining the business, what we need to do is actually look for people who are at 12 o'clock. We can go back to those people that we spoke 6 months ago, a year ago about the business, and perhaps it wasn't a good time for them then. Perhaps now it is a good time. But don't try and convince them. Don't try and make them into joining the business. And obviously, in time, do go back to them. I always do that, with my team. I always do that with my prospects. I always go back to them, a couple of months later, 6 months later, except just to see perhaps, their situation changed, and they will be ready one day because they only have that job, just over broke, so one day or the other, they will realize that, they need something more than just a job. They need a good, better income. They want a better life, and they will come back to you, or you need to go back to them. So if the person is focused and consistent in your group, then you owe it to them to help and build their business. So think in terms of, if you push the accelerator, I push this accelerator. If you take your foot off the gas, I will take my foot off the gas. And this is why I lead my business. If I see that the person is working hard, they're trying hard, etc., I will be there to help them with whatever it is. Be doing presentations, doing perfume parties, traveling further away to meet, the relatives, family, etc., tell them about the business. I'll be there for them. But as soon as I see that they're taking the business for granted, or they're taking it easy and just waiting and hoping that it's all going to work its own way, and other people will build their business for them, and other people will sell the product for them, and other people will earn the money for them, that's it. I'm done with them, because I haven't got time for those people. Everybody's responsible for building their own business. Nobody can build your business for you. Only you can be the person building. I can help you to do that, however I can't build it for you. So always, always, always be the one, building the business. Instead of hoping to see lots of superstars, to recruit lots of superstars, be a superstar instead. Be yourself. So what is the key skill in network marketing? Well, it's sponsoring by all means. So learning to talk to people is a skill. So a lot of people go, oh, I don't know what to say, etc. Yes, that's okay. You will learn. So if you're really, really rubbish, if you, like Big Al says, your charisma bypassed, socially challenged, then learn to say hi, all day long. When you go around, you meet people, going to work, coming back, you say, hi, how are you? Learn to do that. Tell 20, 30 people a day, hi, how are you? And then keep adding stuff to it. Hi, how are you? What do you do for a living? Etc. And you start having conversations. Before you know it, you'll have 5, 10, 15 conversations a day with total strangers. And it's okay. You don't have to sponsor them right away. You can just have a conversation. And if you feel comfortable with it, then you can pitch your business. But you don't have to. And the FFBC, friends, family, business, and community. Everybody have those four groups. Every single person have friends, they have family, they have business associates or people who they know who are in business. So if you are not in business yourself, but you will definitely know somebody who is in business. And obviously local community, church, community centers, etc. You have your local community, neighbors and all that. So everybody have those four groups. And why not start from them? Say hi to them. Say how are you to them, and start from them. And then later, yes, you can go into cold market, no problem, but begin with this group. Well, what I say to my team members, I say, look, you cannot afford me. My hourly rate is too high for you, and you couldn't afford to hire me to work for you. However, I will work with you for free if you're focused and you're committed. So this way, yes, I will invest my time in a certain person if they see that they deserve my time and that they are worthy of my time. And this is exactly the same way you should treat your team. Don't let your team members take you for granted. Tell them, I will match your effort. If you push the accelerator, I will. If you pull back, I will. If I'm not working with your team, I'm working with somebody else's team, which means I'm building your competition then. So you better be the one that I'm working with, and otherwise I'll be working with somebody else's team and I will be building your competition. So this way, when you present yourself to your team members, to your new prospects this way, they will value your time, they will value your ideas and your input to their business. Okay, so in network marketing, we get paid for productivity, right? So in a traditional jobs, there are lots of slugs, that basically people who do nothing and sponge off of the genuinely working people. So if you're working in a job, if you're working all the hard work, you're putting all the overtime, you probably are carrying a couple of slugs with you. So you're actually earning the salary for them as well, because they're slacking behind and not actually doing anything in the job. So you're actually working for a couple of people, not only for yourself. And this is how these people can manage to stay in those companies for so long. So productive people have nothing to be scared about going into network marketing, because in MLM they can earn as much, they can earn much more than in any job. Very often when people hear first that they go, oh, is this commission only? Is this, it's nothing guaranteed, etc. And they're scared. But what I always say, look, if you're a hardworking person, there's nothing you should be scared of. Because if you invest the time and effort you put in your job, you will see massive results. The only people who are scared of network marketing, who are those slugs in those big companies, who do nothing and try to pretend to look busy and try to get away with that. If they come to network marketing, obviously their check will be zero because they're not doing anything. But those people who are genuinely hardworking, they will find that network marketing is 10 times better. Because in a job, if you get paid hourly salary, you cannot earn more. You have a cap on your salary. So even if you do 40 hours a week, there's only a limited amount of money that you can make, because you're earning per hour, not for results. In network marketing, you earn for results. So if you do more and if you achieve more in a shorter period of time, you can earn double or triple or quadruple what you earn in a job. So very often we hear the pyramid objection. And I've seen this picture about 2 weeks ago on Facebook, and I couldn't resist of actually copying that picture onto my computer and putting in on this presentation. Now, what do we see here? It looks like a pyramid, doesn't it? We've got CEO at the top, then we've got president and vice presidents, then middle management, then we have team leaders and supervisors, and then we have the big base of hard-working employees with virtually no chance of becoming the CEO. Now, when people present this to me, I say, no thanks, it looks like a pyramid scheme. However, so many people look at our business and they say, it looks like a pyramid scheme. It's nothing. If anything, our business, our network marketing business, is like an inverted pyramid, because we have lots of people coming in at the top and more people sifting through the levels and becoming the leaders. Unlike in corporations, there's only one CEO. There can't be 2 or 3 or 4 CEOs. However, in FM, there can be 21 diamond orchids, and there will be much more than that. So it's constantly growing, and more people reach the higher levels, unlike in a corporate or standard work environment. Okay, so making a contact. Now, making a contact in our business is vital. We need to make lots of contacts because we are in a people's business, right? So we build a relationship. And I always say that to people: don't try to prospect person on the first time you met them. If you manage to do that, great, but don't push it hard. Build a relationship with them, get to know them, exchange your details, say, look, I enjoy talking to you, I think that you're a really smart person, I would really like to meet up with you again, can we change, Facebooks, whatever, what's your, how you called on Facebook, let me add you to friends, perhaps we could, hook up later on, meet up, have a drink or whatever, So this will start building that relationship with people. Don't really always try to prospect them on the first time you met them. Instead of going, hi, have a look at my business, which is not really professional, start building a relationship and then use when it's appropriate time, introduce your business, and think about all the inappropriate and unsolicited messages we get, via phone, on internet, to emails. The way I look at it, if you start, approaching 50 people a day and saying, hi, have a look at my business, this is like, all of those, spam emails that you get to your email, all of that junk mail, that comes, which you neither want or going to use, but it just comes to you and you always, feel reluctant to even look at it. So this is how people will feel if you come and spam them with your opportunity. What you need to do really is actually start building a relationship with them. And once you reach the point where you can see that the person actually knows you, they trust you, they like you, then you can start and introduce your business to them. Having faith is absolutely vital in this business, So being able to see something before it happens is how we describe the faith. In this business is vital. So having the faith in yourself, having a faith in your business, in your products, and faith leads to hope, and hope leads to belief. Now belief is solid. Belief is unshakable and it cannot be moved. So if you have a belief in your business, nobody will change that. Nobody will shake that or get you off the business, get you quit or whatever. It doesn't matter how many no's you will get. It doesn't matter how many rejections you will get. You will still be in the business if you have a strong belief. And before you get there, act as if. So it's perfectly fine if you haven't got that belief just yet. If you just started a few days ago, a few weeks ago, and you're still thinking, I'm not quite sure if this thing will work out to me, etc. Act as if. Act as a leader. You don't have to have, you don't get to have a down day in front of the whole world or your organization. So you need to be strong. You need to show that, if anything, I'm your leader and I have the 100% belief that I will succeed, and I have 100% belief that you will succeed in my team if you work with me and if you allow me to help you. If you haven't got that belief just yet, just act as if, and it will grow onto you. So what's our task? Well, our task is actually building trust and transferring that belief. So tell the truth to people. Be, upfront. Don't try and fool people, into saying that, this is easy business. You'll be earning 16 grand a month before you know it, etc. You know yourself it's not going to be easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So tell as it is. Tell truth, and this will build good trust. Promoting, selling, tell everything as it is. Don't try and make it better than it is. Just say what it is, and it will be best. And working hard, when you work hard, your team members see that transfers belief. Obviously, persistence and expectations. It's so important. If you're persistent, if you tell and give clear expectations to your team members, they will have that belief. They will have that trust in you, and they will develop the same belief that you have when they see you at work. And there are loads and loads of major limiting beliefs. One of the major limiting beliefs is where people go, but people around here are different. Or my family, friends, or work colleagues are different. I cannot present the business to them. They're just going to laugh at me. They're just not going to understand me, etc. The thing is, everybody thinks that people around them are different. Yes, in Canada you can build this business, but not in UK. You can build this business in London because people in London are different than here in Luton. It doesn't really work this way. People are same everywhere. So do those people that are around you, do they care about their families? Probably yes. Do they like to make money? Probably yes. Do they mind working hard in order to earn money? Probably not. Are they caring and loving people? Yeah, probably yes. So they're exactly the same as people over here and people all around the world. All you need to do is present your business in a certain manner so that the people that your family, friends, work colleagues, etc., would understand it, would understand the full picture, and would not be, scared of you or wouldn't get this salesman alarm activated. And the best thing to do, use your sponsor. Use the events, use the opportunity meetings, webinars, so that people would get a professional presentation of the business and they could see the whole picture, not just some snippets. So mentoring, who should you mentor in your business, Because sponsoring, yes, we have lots of people in our groups, etc., but we can't work very close with everybody in our downline. How mentoring is when you look after somebody and work very closely with them. So mentor someone who is consistently demonstrating what is possible. This is a mentor. Mentor is somebody who consistently demonstrates you what is possible in this business, So be it whether your sponsor is doing 1,200 points, whether he's doing trainings, whether he's doing presentation, whether he's team building, he's mentoring you by showing you what is possible in this business. and the mentor have done it already, and they're accessible to share their skills and knowledge. A true mentor will not separate them from the group. They will actually work with the team and work with their mentees. So find a mentor, a leader that will work with you from your upline. And it might not be your immediate sponsor. If your immediate sponsor joined a week earlier than you, perhaps they're not going to have the skill set you're looking in the mentor. So then just work upline. Ask your sponsor, say, who introduced you to the business? And who introduced that person to the business? And work up until you find a person that will be willing to help you and that has the skills and experience needed to be your mentor. Now, yes, there are some people in your upline who will have what is called viral legenditis, which is an inflammation of the head brought by undue edification. So there are some people who think they're bigger than they are. And they will say, no, I haven't got time for you. I haven't got any time to work with you. You're not big enough or whatever. But really, most leaders in your organization will be more than happy to help you, because as soon as they see a person who is willing to put in time and effort, they will be more than willing to help you. And follow the teachings of this leader that you choose literally for at least a year, and put on blinders so you don't see anything to the side. There's no distractions. There's no ifs or buts or maybes. There's no I'll try it. Your attitude should be I'll do whatever it takes. And just listen and follow the step-by-step instructions from your mentor. And take these teachings and follow to the letter, and do not try and modify them either. So many times I've seen, people making simple things complicated. I would offer them a system, a tool to use, etc., and then they would overcomplicate it by trying to change it. Try and use original stuff as much as you can. Unless you have to change something, just use the proven tools. If there's an opportunity presentation that's been used, and via that presentation thousands and thousands of people join the business, why not use it? Why not use it to your own advantage so it works for you? If there are webinars that have been used to train people for a long time, why not use that? Why not refer all of your team members to these webinars so they can learn too? So, what are requirements of a mentee? Well, firstly, the person should recruit, consume, and retail. These three things are vital for the business. So obviously the person should be consuming the products themselves, because if they don't, they'll have no belief in the business or in the product. They should retail this product to their family, friends, work colleagues, all the people that they know. So they should recommend this product. And finally, they should recruit or build a team, or at least have a willingness to do that, and you can help them to start building the team. And they also should commit at least 2 hours a day, whether it's phoning, emailing, or meeting, doing the business. They should commit some sort of time. If some people say to me, oh, so what happens if the person says, oh, I can only do 1 hour a day? You're not going to say, nah, sorry, you're not qualified then for my team. You'll say, oh, obviously, fine, great, But you need that commitment. You need the person to be committed and say, look, I will put in the time and effort. I'm not going to do it when I have spare time, because we all know that nobody has spare time. You can either do it part-time or full-time. You cannot do it on spare time, because nobody has spare time. So what's the process then? Well, the process is expose, present, validate, enroll, and support. This is how we build a business. So first of all, what we would do, we expose people to the business. And sometimes we don't even mention the business. We just expose them to an idea. So when we start talking to people, we say, yeah, great, okay, what do you do for a living? And the person says what they do for a living. And then we say, okay, what are your plans for the future, Are you investing anywhere? Are you doing whatever, Are you, looking to do that or something else, etc. Then we present something, We present a tool, our opportunity presentation video, our business card, our website, or whatever, a leaflet for the person to have a look. Then we validate that by showing our experience, by giving testimonial, by telling about people, others who's doing this business and who's been successful in this business, etc. Then the next step is enrolling. Once the person is convinced that this business is real, that it will help them, and that they, like the idea of the whole business, then we can enroll them. We can register them and get them into the business, get them the sample kit and everything. And the final step and the ongoing step is the support. So once we have enrolled them, we don't just drop them in there like in a pool of water and say swim. We actually guide them and lead them and work with them on a daily basis, and we help them to succeed in this business. So how is it going to be? How is this business going to be for you? Yes, it will be hard. It's going to be horrible. You're going to be sick of saying the same thing over and over and over again. It will be boring, attending some presentations that you've seen a million times. You bet it's going to be hard. It's going to be miserable, and it's going to be rotten. However, that is why we earn £16,000 a month doing it. If you follow what I teach, you will earn that. Yes, it will be hard. Yes, it will not taste very nice. It will taste bitter when you first start. However, the results are really, really big. I always tell to people, if this was easy, everybody, would be earning that sort of income already. The reason why we'd be being paid this crazy amount of money in this business, because it's hard, because it takes a lot of time and effort. However, it's well worth it. So do not ask for it to be easy. Ask for it to be worthy. So, being professional, it's all about becoming a professional network marketer. So I ask people, look at network marketing as a profession. Think about people who are doctors, lawyers, teachers, nurses, etc. All of these people who have specialities, right? Think, what is your specialty? Whatever you do, I don't really care what is your specialty. How many years of education have you invested into your specialty? How many hours of study you've spent? How many books you've read? How many facts and concepts you had to master before you can become a specialist in your specialty? So why would you expect anything else in network marketing, which is also a profession? So what have you invested to become successful in network marketing? How many hours of education you've invested into this industry? How many books you've read? How many concepts and, ideas you mastered in this business, Or do you have a lottery mentality? I'll just give it a couple of weeks and see if I get lucky. If anybody else, will join my team and sell all the products and make me rich. That's not going to work. You're not going to wake up one day and nobody will call you and say, hey, look, from today you're getting 16 grand a month on an S-Class Mercedes. It's not going to be like that. It's a gradual process. But you need to start treating this as a profession. You need to start treating it seriously, and if you want to become successful at it, you will have to invest some time and effort into it. And there will be a tipping point. More and more people are coming into this industry. So it will soon be a question, not of, are you in the world of network marketing or whatever, or when you say, oh, I'm in network marketing, people say, oh, what's that? It's soon going to be there's more and more people joining. It's soon going to be, oh, so what company are you with? What is your product? When you say, oh, they ask you, oh, what do you do for a living? You go, oh, I'm in network marketing. You go, oh, they don't go, oh, what's that? They'll go, oh, what company? What is your product? Because more and more people getting involved in this business. And what I want you to say when people ask you, what do you do for a living? Don't say that, oh, I'm a teacher and I've got this part-time little introduce people, sell things, business thing going. Tell them, look, I'm a professional network marketer and a teacher. I'm a professional network marketer and a lawyer. I'm a professional network marketer and a nurse. Whatever it is you do, treat yourself with respect and treat your trade with respect. And this industry is massive, and you should start understanding that. Creativity at work is very, very important, especially when we prospect. And I always say that separates people who are motivated and who are not motivated. Now imagine you are in a hotel lobby and somebody walks in through the door. A man with a suitcase, in a suit, and is walking up, towards you. Now if you are not motivated, this is what thoughts will start coming to your head. I don't know him. I haven't got any credibility against him. He's probably in a rush. And I don't have any materials on me, so I'm probably going to let him go. However, a motivated person will see the same situation completely different. They'll use the creativity of the mind to see it differently. Oh, this person looks like an entrepreneur. Look how sharp he looks, with all his suit and, nice-looking shoes. Maybe he's looking for an opportunity. Maybe he's a traveling business person. Maybe he's sick of traveling and he would like to create a home-based business instead. So it's the way you look and the way you see every situation. So how can we help this belief then? How can we strengthen it? Well, your team members need to believe, right? They need to understand that success is not possible, but it is inevitable. So how can we achieve that? How can we get a new prospect who just join the business to see the business how it is and to understand that it is inevitable for them to become successful? Well, one of the things that I'm using now is telling my new team members to interview 5 biggest leaders in my organization. So I say, look, I prepare them the questions. I say, look, you have questions, great, write them down and ring 5 biggest leaders in our group and interview them. And make a list of questions. How have you started? Who introduced you to the business? Who were the first people you spoke to? How many people have you spoke to? Where did you get them? What's your story? If you think of a traditional new starter in your organization, a person who has no idea, no skills, no knowledge, and says, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do this business, I don't know how to sell, I don't know this, that, and the other, make them to call 5 people in your organization, 5 biggest leaders. And they will have definitely big belief, so they will pass that belief to your person too. And make them to interview those 5 people. Say, look, call this person, this person, this person, and this person, and ask any question you like. If you don't know how to sell, ask them, how do they sell? If you don't know how to speak to people, ask them, what do they say to their prospects? How do they introduce people to the business? So make them interview 5 biggest leaders in your organization, and you'll see how confident they will become after they've done that. It's a fantastic strategy. Okay, one of the biggest excuses, and again a limiting belief, is when people go, oh, but I don't know anyone. It's a myth that you need to know lots of people to get started in this business. It's not real. Finding people is a skill that you need to develop. And this is the fact. So there are 3 types of people. The first type of people who join this business are posers. They never make any contact list. They never make a list of all of their contacts. All they do, they have this mental list of 2 to 5 people, and they approach them poorly. And whether or not those people will join the business will determine if they stay with this business. So this is a really bad way to go about this business. The second group of people are what we call amateurs. Now, I was an amateur when I first started. So amateurs write down the list, which is great. Once you put your list on paper, you increase your chances straight away of succeeding. And then they start draining this list, and they do become anxious as the list starts running out. So I was like that. When I first started, I made a list of about 50 people, and I started contacting them. And after I started reaching the end of the list, I started being scared. What will happen when I run out of people? Who will I speak to, etc.? Now, the third type of people in this business are professionals. Now, what professionals do, they actually make a list, and they learn how to constantly add to that list. 2 to 4 people a day they add to this list so they never run out. And this is called the active candidate list. And I will be speaking about that, about how to create this active candidate list, and about how to build your prospects and how to add to your contacts list on an ongoing basis in the next training that we will do. Now, final thing that I wanted to mention today is the after question. After you sat with the person at the opportunity meeting, or after you showed them the DVD, there's good and bad question to ask after that. And one of the bad things that people ask, they say, what do you think? Now, the reason why it is bad, it invites critic. So as soon as you say to the person, what do you think about that? What did you think about the opportunity meeting? Or what did you think about DVD? It will invite critic. So the person will start saying, oh, I didn't like that, or I didn't like that, or the good thing to say after the person seen the opportunity meeting or the webinar, ask them, what did you like best? This invites positive thoughts. What did you find like best? Was it the money? Was it the helping people? Was it the time freedom? Was it the product? What did you like best about our product? Or what did you like best about our marketing plan? What did you like best, about this or that or the other? This way, you actually invite and encourage the person to be positive about your business and to look for good things and not for the excuses why they shouldn't be joining your business opportunity.